And welcome back to Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and I give you my opinion. If you're a returning subscriber, I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit that like button so it helps with the analytics. Please send this to friends so they can see the data as well. I really appreciate that. If you're new here, you like the content after you see it, hit the like button afterwards. Take a look here at the US dollar index on the 12-month, and you can see they only give us data going back to 1968. So we're looking at the most historical view we can here on this chart with the US dollar index. And you can see that we, at one point, back in around, January of, what do we got here? Difficult to say. This is what I don't like. I really need a stylus. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was supposed to be 84. So we reached the top at about 1984 at about $160 on the DXY, somewhere in there, maybe actually a little bit more on the wick. And we've been our way down ever since in a descending channel. And then there's this, descending wedge. You can see there's this descending wedge that we've been in. You can also see that below that is a descending channel where the dollar goes to really fall to its lowest point over and over again repeatedly in this descending wedge that we see here. But, you know, since about roughly 03 or so, we've been working our way back up into an ascending wedge, kind of a channel. And yeah, you know, it looks like we're about ready to roll over again and continue the trend. The trend is your friend, and the trend has been that we are going down. The dollar is actually hanging by a thread right now, which if you've been watching my channel, you should have known to anticipate the moves that you're seeing today on the S&P 500. I just want to take you onto the dollar on the 30-minute here so you can see that we are essentially hanging on to a thread. We've really completed a total bearish divergence. You can see on that 130-minute candlestick, we just dropped all the way down, broke below this pink kind of new downward support that we had here at roughly the 101.15, 101.13, somewhere in there. And it's trying to hang on to that support line right now, but it did break down through it earlier, all the way to, let's see, about the 184.7, and our support really is going to be at 181.9. So we'll see if that holds, but you've got to understand that if we break that, we come back down to this pink descending channel, the larger one, the very bottom of that descending channel that we've been in, within the ascending channel historically, looking back at all of that data. But we'll zoom out here so you can see that exactly what I'm talking about. And there's not much more below us as far as true support goes. I'm going to take you out to the 2-hour. I want to show you, if you look at the 2-hour with these EMA lines, that look, we have gone into a full bearish divergence here. We've got the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200 stacked up very nicely, and price is underside that 20-day moving average, very heavy on the 2-hour. And maybe we get a little retest of some areas. We hop back to the 101.259 on the dollar, maybe even all the way back up to the 101.542 and some kind of a W reversal, because it might have to digest this move to the downside. Don't rule out total capitulation. I mean, maybe we come all the way down to this channel very quickly tomorrow, or overnight even. And maybe we hit this Fibonacci ring right here, and then maybe we get a little bit of bounce and try and put in a W. It's something we've got to watch. But overall, this is a bearish continuation pattern, and you can assume that with we're just going to retest some areas and flag and then continue down until we see something different. Now, what does that mean for the S&P 500? Well, remember yesterday I told you this means that the S&P 500, generally speaking, is going to be going up. And we can look at the moves where that happens, but you have to understand you're still going to need to cool and build structure on the S&P 500, and you have to digest moves here as well. So you can see on the 2-hour, we had a very big day. We're not overcooked on the RSI. We're cooling and flagging on the 2-hour. We're in a full bullish divergence on our EMA lines. The incoming volume was great today. That's because the dollar is weakening and falling. And look, that move back here yesterday where we initially reached this point on the S&P 500, roughly about the 413.81 on the wick, you've got to understand, we had to digest that. Now the dollar is failing and the S&P 500, you've got buyers stepping back in. Confidence is here. Like, okay, well, this is not confidence in the market per se, but it's a flight to safety. And then you have to start thinking, when the S&P 500 really starts to take off as the dollar continues to tank, are we going to see the flight of safety really turn to gold, precious metals, possibly commodities as the overall market heats up? Are you going to see people pulling away from tech and out of tech as layoffs happen, as we see these bank failures continue? These are things to consider. I am personally investing in areas outside of the U.S., emerging Eastern markets, not even inside of China. China's got its own problems, and they're on the verge of some very serious problems as well. Move to gold, move to silver. I think some crypto. These are all things to consider. It's why I'm covering a little bit of crypto here now, although, crypto is connected to the tech market and it is highly speculative, despite what some people say. So you want to I wouldn't put most of my eggs there, that's for sure. You might put some of them there. So that's something to consider. I want to zoom out so you can see exactly where we're at here on the S&P 500 a bit. And we have not yet broken out of, we're essentially inside of this. Let me bring you out to the daily, because I want you to see that we're inside of this symmetrical triangle, this green symmetrical triangle, and we've been winding up and tightening up and consolidating in there since, all the way back in about June of 2022. And this could be it. We might be getting ready to get top side of this green symmetrical triangle. So please pay attention to my charts, take screenshots, do what you need to do to stay in the know here. And I try and take screenshots and publish them as well. But I tell you what, tomorrow is going to be interesting, because if we flag out and we get top side of this, you need to see it get support. So I would wait for a 2-hour confirmation, to be honest, before I went into a trade. But, unless you just really start to see things move to the upside, you can see on the MACD that we're already getting some more upward momentum after a first phase. We're getting a bounce on the RSI off of the daily here. So that's a good sign. But you might watch that 2-hour chart to get confirmation. You're going to want to see kind of a double stack green candlestick on top of here. So you want to see a bounce and another bounce with a sufficient move up off of that previous candlestick. And that's where you maybe want to try and enter into a trade somewhere, or maybe even on the S&P 500 itself. Because if the dollar really starts to tank, which I believe it will, then this is going to really take off. Now, does that mean the dollar is going to completely tank tomorrow? No. I mean, you can see how much room we have to wind around in here on the S&P 500. So, this could be a longer term case before we get topside and bounce off to the upside on this. Do remember, though, at a certain point, this really is going to amount to a dead cat bounce, because the market is going to realize, wait a second, this is just a flight to safety. We're having problems in the market. We're experiencing a recession at the same time as we're experiencing very steep inflation. And I really think at that point, you're going to see a flight to money away from the market. And you may see, especially some of the bigger indices, especially away from tech, and then, you know, tech really helps drive the S&P 500, then I think you're going to see a big correction, and you want to make your money going up, and then you're going to want to make your money going down. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look at Bitcoin now very quickly. And Bitcoin should be doing roughly the same thing as the S&P 500 because of the dollar. And yes, you can see it is trying to stay bullish here on the S&P 500. You can see I love the fib circles. I added another Fibonacci circle here. I believe we're still on the daily. Yes, we are. And so that's fair enough. We're flagging on the daily. I want to take you down to the, let's see, I'll take you down to the 30-minute here so we get a better idea of what's happening here. Again, we are kind of putting on a little bit of that chop here for quite a while now. You can see how well this moves with this fib circle. And so I put this on earlier today, and yeah, you know, we're still looking roughly the same. I mean, steady as she goes, essentially. It's like Bitcoin is just holding on. I think everybody that's into crypto knows that basically the dollar is cooking right now. And so you're going to see more and more people hanging into these positions. So, you know, I did talk yesterday about how we might have to digest this move all the way up here. And that's still possible. We certainly might have to, because you might see the dollar retrace, and maybe retrace drastically to where where Bitcoin comes back down to some of these other fibs, orange fib circles we have down here to kind of retrace. I mean, you might see it come down to the 29,194 and then bounce around between the 29,194 and the 35,47 before we finally get support up there again. But the other possibility is that the dollar just loses its garbage all the way down to the crap house, and then we come topside of the 35,47, get support, and then we just really fly, maybe on this red Fibonacci circle here out on the right side. So, you know, maybe sooner rather than later we ride that up, and then we're off to the races again, and we're going back to places we haven't been in a while. So, you know, pay attention. We're getting squeezed between the 20 and the 50 right now on the 30-minute. I do want to take you out to the 2-hour though, just because I want to see how our EMA lines are stacking up, and we still do have the 20-day moving average there that we're sitting on top of, so that's a good sign. Let's take a look at the 4-hour, and on the 4-hour we still have the 20-day as well. Things are just steady as she goes here as well. Yes, there's some momentum to the downside. You may see that increase. You may see some bouncing around on these fib lines, but we'll see what happens. Let's take a look now at HBAR. And if there's any other cryptos that you want me to look at, especially the banking coins, just leave me a comment in the comment section. Please feel free to comment, ask questions, and leave your opinions on things, because look, I'm not the end-all be-all. I have maybe a good idea about what's happening in the market, but maybe you have a better idea. Maybe you've got an idea that I haven't thought about. So please send that information, talk about it in the comments, let me know. You can see on HBAR here, we are working on a nice W reversal. I'm so glad that you are buying in on these levels of HBAR where we see these areas of consolidation where it looks like bear flags. And because look, I think with the dollar failing, ultimately these are bear traps. When you've got HBAR this low, whether you're buying at 3 cents, 5 cents, those are areas that you really want to get in at. And as you can see, even if you're buying it at 6 cents, I think that we're going to be off to the races here eventually with HBAR as well. And what you want to look for on HBAR, what you want to pay attention to is, you know, this is the 4-hour chart. So we still have some room to move on the RSI, so that's good. We're not, you know, you may get a cool off period and a bounce on the RSI, so that would be nice. and we're in the middle of another upcycle on the 4-hour here. You don't want to break the, let's zoom in. You don't want to break the 6658 on HBAR. If you break the 6658, you're on your way back down more than likely to the 6295. So keep that in mind on HBAR. Hey, if you like this update, if you like my channel, please subscribe. Please hit the like button and consider leaving a comment for me, letting me know what you want to see, because I'm here for you. I'm here to help you through the market. I'm not selling any bull crap on my channel. It's just us. It's the charts. We're here having fun and trying to make some money. So please hit that like button, and we will see you next time on The Market Wolf.